I'm Kate Peck and welcome to another excellent episode of the AusMoto Show, where we bring you the best in Australian motorcycle racing talent. Today we have a supercharged lineup covering trials, supercross, motocross and circuit racing, so all you have to do is sit back, relax and enjoy. Coming up, our homegrown international success story, who's now a two-time FIM Endurance World Champion riding for Honda, it's Josh Hook. The GOAT of Australian trials, Kyle Middleton, joins us after taking home his 10th Australian Trials Championship. I sit down with Gas's Hayden Mellross to chat about his successful motocross and supercross career and his 2022 Australian Supercross Championship campaign. And Cru Halliday, riding for Yamaha Racing Team in the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul, joins us in the studio. And remember to follow along on socials using the hashtag AusMotoShow and send us in your weekend riding pics because we want to see them. All right, our first victim, he's a two-time FIM Endurance World Champion. It's Honda's Josh Hook. Josh, welcome back to Australia, I reckon, is our first little thing. It must be nice to be home.
It is good to be home. They say there's no place like home, and that definitely is, that's something I stand by for sure.
Yeah, so you're living overseas now. You were living with MotoGP's Jack Miller, but I'm figuring because he's now gotten a wife, Ruby's probably kicked you out.
No, I didn't get the flick, surprisingly. I'm still there, and you know, like we're best buds, and you know, we still have to go out and train and do our thing. So we need someone to do that with, and I'm the bloke, it seems.
Mini Josh, how did racing start for you? And let's say you could run into your 10-year-old self. If you told him what you've achieved right now, would he believe you?
Well, no, not at all. Racing was never... I didn't come from a racing family, firstly. And we just grew up on a farm out the back of Taree there, plenty of acres, and just rode bikes, my brother and I, when we were young. Nothing too serious. We got a local track there, Taree Motorcycle Club, a little dirt track. We went out there and just to watch one day, and we were sitting on the other side of the fence watching as a young fella, and I said to Dad that, you know, let's give that a go, eh? I mean, we've already got bikes at home, so we may as well just bring them in here one first Sunday of the month and have a crack, and that's what we did, and that's how the ball started to get rolling. Obviously, that's early days, but a lot of things happened between then and now, but that's how it started.
So you're now a two-time FIM Endurance World Champion. Like, has that sunk in? That is bonkers.
Yeah, amazing achievement for myself and the team. Super stoked on it, and I just want to keep going and racing in endurance with my team and doing our best and work towards getting as many titles as possible.
And tell us about endurance racing, the season, how it works.
It's long. It's real long. You know, we've got two 24 hours. This year we had 3 24 hours and an 8 hour. First round of the year it's straight into a 24 hour at Le Mans. So very physical track, hard braking, not a lot of rest, no long straights, and basically straight into it. So basically how it works is we have 3 riders. The team has to run the same machine for the whole 24 hours, and the riders just interchange. Basically, you do a full tank of fuel, which is roughly about an hour stint, and then you go back to the pit box and, you know, refuel, food, massage, have a sleep if you can. It's quite difficult to do that, but you've basically got 2 hours break before it's time to head back out for your second stint, and then you're on repeat for the next however long. Too long.
Is it like, how do you prepare for a 24-hour race?
To prepare yourself for the race, you just have to make sure in the off season and in between races you're doing all you can to, training wise, food wise, to put yourself in the best position and the best condition for the race.
We had you out here for 2021. You were replacing Troy Herfoss on the Penrite Honda team. How did that originally happen with the chat with Jack Miller and you ending up coming out to ASBK?
Yeah, so like you said, last year I did the Bend. Troy's a good mate of mine. We keep in touch throughout the year, and he had that bad accident up in Darwin, and he knew that I was going to be home at the time, and him and Darren got together and said, "Oh, you get hooky on it." Yeah, I said, "I'd love to come and do it." You know, so went to the Bend. Amazing weekend, great track. Never been there before, but really enjoyed it. I didn't have the best time there racing, but we won't go into that. But I did enjoy the weekend. So Jack came over for it too, loved it. And this year we got talking on the couch over there, and Jack's like, "Oh, well, we're going to do it again." I said to him, "Oh, I don't really have a ride there, although I would like to do it." And he said, "No worries, I'll go buy your bike and I'll make a race team and we'll go and race under his name, so his banner." I said, "Oh, yeah. You know, it's a big ask." I thought he was just joking, you know, but when he says something, he doesn't usually joke too much about it. He's quite serious. So whether it sounds far-fetched or not, if he says it, he's going to do it. So so that's what we're doing. We've got Jack, Marcel Schroeder and I all under the same banner, Jack's team, and all on different manufacturer bikes. So
so good. Everything about the situation is so good.
Yeah. You know, we love doing it, and the ASBK weekend it brings back for us the fun, you know, that sometimes we can miss with the stress and everything, racing in our jobs, in our teams, in World Championship. We love racing a motorbike, and that's what it comes down to. And to be in a position where we're able to go there and race the ASBK for that round is amazing. You know, we get to race with our friends in the same team, and you know, there's not much better than that, really.
Thank you so much for joining us, Josh. Good luck at the Bend. We will be watching. Don't you go anywhere. Coming up, we have the greatest of all time in trials riding Australia, Kyle Middleton. Pro MX's Hayden Mellross joins us, and in the studio, ASBK's Yamaha racing teams, Cru Halliday. We'll catch you soon. Welcome back to the AusMoto show. Our next guest is the GOAT of Australian trials, fresh off his 10th championship win in Australia. It's Kyle Middleton. Kyle, welcome to the studio. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me in. It's great to be here.
Now, trials. Tell us about trials, because I don't think everybody knows everything about trials. It's not as mainstream as it should be.
The general gist of the sport is that you've got a bunch of obstacle courses you've got to go through, and you get scored when you go through those obstacle courses. The obstacle course may be a creek bed where you've got to ride up the creek bed. It might be a pile of rocks and you've got to get through those rocks. Depending on what class you ride in, you'll have arrows that you've got to go between. And then how you get scored is every time you lose your balance and put your foot on the ground, you get penalised for it. If you fall off the bike, you get penalised. If you stall the bike, you get penalised. So the idea is to get through that course without making too many mistakes.
It's quite accessible in that way. It's quite a good sport for beginners and just people of all different ages.
Yeah, well, that's really how I got into it, because I wanted to go race motocross, and my mum went and had a look at what it was about, and she said, "That's too dangerous for my son." So I don't know if she didn't trust me or what, but that's a real beauty of it. You can get your kids into it, and you go to competitions, and I'm riding around, 5-year-old kids, and they're not hurting themselves, they're just learning great skills.
And this is your weapon of choice. Got it in the studio. One very cool and unique looking bike. Tell us about the engine, give us a few details on it. 300cc
2-stroke engine, so it's a decent size engine for a very small bike. Name of the game is to be really light, so this is only around 65 kilos, so you need to be able to manoeuvre the bike and move around on the bike really well, so that's why you see that there's no seat here, because you need a bit of space to get in here and contort yourself into some sort of positions to get yourself up and over rocks.
And you recently just came back from Italy, Monza, from the Trials of Nations. How was that experience? Because that was your 12th
I think 13th actually.
13th?
Yeah.
And you'd won in Australia when it was here. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it's something about Trial des Nations is that it's a teams event. So I land over there in Italy, and I've got 2 guys that I'm riding with for the week, and then we've also got a 3-woman team too, and then a team manager, plus some minders. So we've got this whole team of people who are there all to represent our country and do the best we can for Australia. And it's a really great experience riding with your teammates and helping each other and achieving something together. It's just something you don't get to experience often motorcycling. So it's probably my favourite thing to do every year. I just absolutely love doing that event, and it's especially good when we get some good results. So yeah, back in 2017 we did actually manage to win our class in the men's team. So that was it was something that I don't think any of us ever dreamed of. It was probably, you know, deep down in our minds that we'd really love to do it, but I don't think we ever believed that we could. But that's the great thing about team events. If you work really well together and everything goes your way on the day, then you come out smiling. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming into studio, Kyle, and for bringing your beautiful beast. Now, from trials to Pro MX, I got the opportunity to sit down with Hayden Mellross to chat about Gas, Pro MX and Supercross. Hayden Mellross joined the Gas team for the 2022 Pro MX season. Now, he's joining a new team on a new bike. So Hayden, thank you for joining us, but tell us how it was starting on the European bike, being the Gas.
It was good. I really enjoyed the transition back. In 2019, I rode a KTM, and I had really good memories on the bike, and I really enjoyed it. We made it work. So coming back in 2022, I thought, the first initial thought was, I feel good. Just how the years progressed, I feel like we're getting more comfortable, and really excited to be back on, this brand.
And tell us how your season did start, because it probably, it was all about your starts, really. You made it quite hard for yourself to battle through the pack. So just tell us about how it all flowed.
Yeah, I mean, starts you just mentioned, they're not my strongest suit. They are, this year I've just really struggled with them a lot. A lot of things are different, especially when you talk about a gas versus another manufacturer. The way this bike revs and the way I do the starts is different. So I've had to adjust a lot of things, and trying to overcome that has been difficult. We have gotten a lot better as the year goes on, but when you don't get a good start, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, and that's what I've done most races, and had to kind of charge from the back. So we've gotten a lot better. I think a couple of rounds ago it was nice to, I think, come around the turns in top 3, which was a rare sight for me. But yeah, it's been a nice transition. But yeah, we definitely need to keep getting them starts a bit better.
Because you started to find form in Maitland and Coffs Harbour. What do you put that down to? What changes have you been making behind the scenes?
Oh, it's everything really. Like a lot of personal changes, a lot of bike developments, a lot of just restructures with different people in my corner, with ways we can move forward, and what let's try this to see how that reacts and things like that. So with this sport, it all changes with a flick of the light switch. So we've worked hard on myself personally. My fitness has always been a strong suit, but I think working more so on the technique side of things, and then just them little 1%ers on where my knees are versus where my elbows are, the way I twist the throttle, things like that. And on top of that, we work on a lot of the bike characteristics. So a whole lot of suspension changes, a whole lot of chassis changes, where the rear wheel sits, the way I rev the bike, what gear I'm in, a lot of things like that we've changed throughout the year as well, just to try to get me to a point where if it is 1% better, then we log that data and we move on, and we try to find another thing to create into a more of a positive feel, So it's been one of them things where it's just been a combination of everything.
You're competing in the 2022 Supercross, Australian Supercross season. What can we expect from you now that you've found form with the team and some speed and you're comfortable? What are you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, so I'm excited. It's been about 4 years now since I've raced Supercross. So it's been a long time. I'm so excited. I've already started the process with designing tracks, getting them built, speaking to the team about structure, things like that. My goals for Supercross are going to be, they are quite high, and I want to go out and I want to win. There's no reason why I can't, especially after the building season that I've had with this Supercross, this motocross season, and the experience that I have with Supercross. I think that will give me a slight advantage. I still am going to have to work my butt off, that's for sure, because you've got some extremely talented guys there and a lot of people that are at the peak of their career essentially. So I will have to work, my butt off, but I'm willing to do that, and I'm just beyond keen to get out there and get racing under lights.
And just finally, do you know the plan for 2023?
Not yet, no. Obviously, whatever happens, I'm sure that it's going to be one hell of a year. This year so far has not been to my expectations, but we've looked at it as a rebuilding year for me, coming off the back of COVID with the lack of riding and the lockdowns that we suffered in Victoria. But yeah, building to a point where I'm comfortable, and I think whatever 2023 brings, we'll be ready. I'm more than keen and more than excited to put in the work and to do what it takes to get us, fighting for podiums week in, week out, and battling for that championship. So, whether I'm here or whether I'm somewhere else, whether that be Australia or whether that be different parts of the world, whatever we do, we'll be wanting to battle for wins, that's for sure. So I'm keen for next year.
All right, good luck, Hayden.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Great to hear from Hayden and wrap the Penrite Pro MX season, where we crown champions in MXW Charlie Cannon, MX3 Caden Minier, MX2 Wilson Todd, and MX1 Aaron Tanti. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back shortly with ASBK's fast but sassy Cru Halliday. Welcome back to the AusMoto show, and please welcome to the studio, riding for Yamaha Racing Team, it's ASBK's Cru Halliday. Cru, welcome. Let's firstly talk about the important topic. Cru, Nunchi, Crunichi, Crunchy, tell us please about your nickname, why so many U's, and how important is it to have a very good nickname to put on the back of your letters?
I don't even know how we come about that. It was just a couple of friends back in the day, and it's when Instagram first started. I just didn't want my name. Just Cru's pretty short, so we just muck it around, and we just come up with Crunichi, or heaps of people just call me Nietzsche now. It's just, I don't know. It's not even close to my name, but it just stuck, and that's just off my Instagram name, so everyone just calls me that now. I think my parents gave me my name so you couldn't shorten it, so why not just lengthen it?
Oh, that's a genius idea.
That's how it worked out.
Right, well, you are a boy from the ghetto, Liverpool.
I am.
Tell us about this unconventional journey to road racing.
Yeah, so we grew up in Liverpool, raced BMX basically my whole life. Then we moved out to Camden, which is out near Oran Park, which is near one of the old circuits. Ended up, living on a bit of property, living out near Appin, Oakdale, where all the motocrosses were, and ended up getting on a motocross bike. And I think the story basically just started there. Met the Goberts. They're very well known in road racing in the road racing community, and it started with motocross. Went to Supermoto, and then I think Alex, which is the youngest Gobert, he convinced my dad to buy me two R6s, and basically, I think that was in early 2009, and then I think the bikes were purchased in early January. I was racing in March, so I was thrown in the deep end pretty hard.
Did you find that there was a weird transition in between your styles depending on the disciplines?
I found the biggest transition that I struggled with was Supermoto, because because I was from a motocross background, I always found myself putting my foot out and then my knee down. So it was like, I had to pick one, and I was always knee down. Everyone's like, what's going on? You're a motocross, you should be foot down. But I think that's why we ended up going road racing. I just couldn't adapt the motocross style on a Supermoto bike. It was really weird. And I was adapting the road racing style on it, and I've never done road racing before prior to that. So I think that's how we transitioned to road racing, and yeah, it's just been natural ever since.
So 10 years now with Yamaha. Tell us about that relationship, because that is a very long time in professional racing.
Yeah, it's. I actually got asked about this not long ago if I'm getting long service leave, but I don't think that's happening. But yeah, it's they're such a great company. I love the brand. I can't see myself being on another brand at the moment, but they've thrown me a lifeline in 2018, which meant a lot to me. I was almost out of the sport, and I'm just trying to get them a Superbike title. I haven't done it yet, but I'd like to try them. They've thrown everything at me, so see what can happen. I don't think I'm in the running this year. I'm a bit behind the 8 ball this year, but it was always next year, and see what happens. It's just a great brand to work with. They're basically like a family now. I know everyone in the team so good, and they've been really good to us.
We know that you're fast. There's no doubt that you're fast, but the competition of the last 2 years, this year's last year, and now your new teammate as well, Mike Jones, who's leading the championship. Just tell us how it compares to other years.
Yeah, the competition this year it's been crazy. I didn't think Mike was going to be as fast as he was, as he got on the Yamaha, but he's proven everyone wrong, which is good. It's good to see him leading the championship. It's good for Yamaha. It's probably not the best thing for me. He's just come out and stolen the limelight. But hey, it's racing. It's how it happens. But you got these other guys like Wayne. He's on form on that Ducati. You got Brian on the other Ducati. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to finish out the end of the year. We're going to 2 horsepower tracks now, Phillip Island and the Bend. So yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard, but I'm sure we can narrow the margin. Mike's obviously in front, so he's found a way to beat them. So I think on my side of the garage, we need to find that.
2 rounds to go, Cru. What can we expect performance-wise from you?
Hopefully, I need to learn how to start. Like, that has been my backbone all year. It's getting off the start, and like if you go back and watch all the races, I've got to come back through to the pack, and the front guys are already gone. So I just need to fix my first part of the race. If I can run with them for the first part, I'm sure I can run with them at the last end of the race. So Phillip Island's going to be tricky. I don't know how we're going to narrow that margin, but I got done on the line there at Phillip Island at MotoGP round, so just probably finished turn 12 off a bit better.
So going into the final couple of rounds, you are P5 in the championship right now. What would you be happy with?
To be honest, I don't want to get involved with Mike's championship. I don't want to, bang bars with him or anything and, cause a bit of upset in the team. But I just need to try to do as best as I can, try to finish up there. And I think for a podium for us, it might be a bit much to ask for. There's quite a significant amount of points between me and Brian, but nothing's impossible. But I just need to finish off the race as best I can. I need to try to secure my ride for next year. I wouldn't mind getting Pip and Herfoss in the championship overall. He's not that far in front of me for 4th, but I think 3rd overall for the championship's a bit of a stretch. But as I said, there's nothing impossible. 5 races at 100%. So that's all I'm hoping for.
All right, Cru, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck in the final 2 rounds of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul, as we hit Phillip Island for round 6 and the grand finale for round 7, the Bend, South Australia. Back at Phillip Island for round 6, then get yourself trackside as we hot-footed over to South Australia for the final round at the Bend Motorsport Park for the grand finale over the 25th to the 27th of November, to wrap it all up with a few special guests racing, Jack Miller and Josh Hook, just to name a few. We'll then wrap the year sideways with the Australian Speedway Championship at Gilman Speedway in Adelaide on the 10th of December. What a way to end the season. I cannot wait to see Jack Miller again down under racing, and a growing list of international racing superstars who will be battling it out for the final round of the ASBK Championship at the Bend. Keep up to date at asbk.com.au. Thanks for watching the AusMoto Show. We'll catch you next time. Over and out.